I was a teacher for about 30 years, over 30 years in 17 different schools. We are looking for 10 or more students who want to be trained as travelers. It's got actually a shift. You're going to become a traveler in this experience. We will sit down with you for 5 hours or so. Somehow we'll find that time with you. And we will teach you how to engage with strangers. Now, sometimes when I talk to strangers, when I talk to people about strangers, people say, that sounds sketchy. How can you avoid people going, don't talk to me? But you have to be sensitive. One day, sitting on the back of the bus, I turned to this woman, rather nondescript woman, and I said, excuse me, now this is part of the skill set. You don't always have to do it. I say, do you have time for my question of the day? She goes like this. Yes, I love that kind of stuff. It's amazing what people will do on the bus. So we will train you how to engage, how to talk, how to find the courage. We were talking to a bank manager who's interested in this process. He says, I know the questions. He's taken one of our workshops. He said, and he's a bright guy, and he's personable. He says, but I sometimes haven't got the courage to talk to strangers. So we'll teach people how to have that courage. It's sort of daunting. There's a challenge. Every time you start to talk to a stranger, you sort of think, how's this going to go? Maybe it'll bomb. Maybe it won't. I got to tell you about the next part of the training. After that, then we say, for a month, you've got, we would like you to talk to 2 strangers in the course of your day. Not that you say, oh, geez, I've got to do this assignment. It is a matter of saying, I've got to take a bus. So, by the end of that bus ride, you might talk to 1 stranger or 2 strangers, and then you're going to go onto our social media platform and either tweet out or on our Facebook page and just write a little bit about the experience to what will teach you really how that's supposed to work. And what you get out of the 300 people or so who are liking our page and other people, they will get in there and it'll buzz, and we will comment on it. And we'll make some, it's not a matter of marking you, but it's like you will have support. You might say, I was talking to this guy and he went on, and it was fun, but I sort of got stuck. That's cool to post, and so we'll talk and we'll say, hey, you know what? Here's a couple of things. I went to a meeting one time and I was talking and I didn't know Kathleen, and Kathleen said, hey, we should talk. And Kathleen's an adventurer, a traveler as well, originally from?
No, I'm Gimli, Manitoba.
What happened? Where's the Iceland connection?
Oh, grandparents. So I was at one point a expert in Icelandic tourism.
One of the big problems that people tell me, students tell me, staff tell me, is that there's a lot of isolation on campus. Anybody agree with that? Well, different people. So there's like this. When you get a whole bunch of people walking around who are plugged in like this and looking down, and there's a distinct, it must be proportional to the number of people who are feeling like I don't want to break into that thing. I sometimes ask people, I said, could you just for a minute? And, it's a risk, because usually the bud is like, don't talk to me. So, and politics, I talked to the city of Victoria, they're very concerned because people don't vote because they don't feel engaged. They don't think they count. They haven't got a voice, so they don't count. You hold an event, people don't show up. Go someplace and people are disconnected. So it's a massive. A guy wrote the book called Bowling Alone. It's a big deal. And it affects like mental health, work. People don't know how to get jobs. At the end of your job interview, you know what they always ask you? They say, do you have any questions? Oh, and you know what? It happens if you don't ask a question. They say, oh, thank you, Tommy, or Mr. Who, and they go, drop it. I asked the manager, I said, why do you do that? He says, if they don't have enough interest in our business, then we're not interested in them. Ask a question. And see, engaging with strangers is like, Bill Murray, you've seen Groundhog Day? Yeah, some people have seen Groundhog Day is an amazingly metaphoric movie, because he took on a task and he had to do it again and again and again until he got it right. He was a jerk. He kept stepping in the same puddles. Eventually, and that's the cool thing about talking to strangers in grocery lineups. The cool thing is, when's the next time you're going to see them?
Maybe never.
Maybe never. So what have you got to lose? You know, they're not marking you. It's just like, does it work? Is this going to work? Then once you find a question that works, you go, yes. And then you try it again on the next person. And they always give different answers.
And the other thing is, I mean, with communication, we are a human system. I mean, if we don't talk to people, then we're not going to be able to even find out the pulse of what's going on. And when you actually stop and talk to somebody and you don't say, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, fine. Oh, that's nice. So how's the weather? There it goes. As soon as the weather comes into your conversation, you're dead. It's done. It's done. Like, that's one way to measure it. But one time I was in the root cellar, and they have amazing people working there. This young woman, I said, so what adventure have you got for 2015? She goes, I'm going to Iceland. I said, oh really? What are the chances of that young woman telling somebody who knows a whole lot about that country that she was going to Iceland for her adventure? I said, here's my name and number. I would love to tell you some really cool places that you will not find on the map. And so we've had a conversation about that. And a young guy who's manager of
Staples.
it was Staples. He was incredible. We went on, and he told me about his dream, his life, where he was going, and his mother, and how influential she was in that. And so when you look at those systems, it's incredible when you become at ease with that, when you know your soundbite, when you don't feel like a deer in the headlight, when you have to go for interviews, and somebody says to you, so, what do you do? Who are you? Like, who are you? What's your personal manifesto? What is your, what's your script? And it's really about coming to know who you are as well. And
So,
being comfortable with that.
This actually can be like life-changing, right? To make that shift. Because once you cross over to becoming a traveler, like nothing's the same. It's amazing. How many people believe that? Yes! Good. You all believe it. That's cool. It's like we don't have to go to the Yucatan to have this kind of experience. It could be on the number 7, or 14, or 30. There's so many choices in life.
And it could be in the grocery store.
Yeah.
It could be in a lineup anywhere. So it doesn't, wherever and you'll start seeing these salons, these conversation salons. On the street, somebody stops, looks in a window, and you go, oh, what attracted you to that? It's not like, hi, how's the weather?